want you to understand that when I say innocent, it could be you, it could be your mom, your dad, your brother, or your sister. Do not wait to get involved in the death penalty debate until someone that you love is sitting on death row, or even yourself. The time to do this is now. Because if we don't do it now, there's someone that you know in the same situation. Governor Rick Perry surprised George Bush in the number of executions. I think George Bush had 157 executions there in Texas. Rick Perry executed over 200 and some inmates. You got to be kidding me. That's more inmates than Governor Ryan gave clemency to. George Bush said some stupid shit out of his mouth. He said that he was positive that everybody that he executed was innocent. There's no way in hell he could be so positive. And even Governor Rick Perry, the laws of nature says that there's a possibility, a great possibility, that Rick Perry has executed someone innocent also. If you look at how the crime lab in Houston was helping to send people to jail and to death row, you will agree that we do not need the death penalty. If you look how that killer judge down there closed every courtroom doors so a death row inmate would not have time to file his appeal, you would say that we do not need the death penalty. Texas is ground zero to me. And we need to do something about the death penalty, not only in this country, around the world. And if we could do something about it there in Texas, then we could have a good debate and we could have a stronger system. It costs millions of dollars to execute someone. It's much cheaper and much safer to keep them locked up. So I don't know what your views are against the death penalty or for the death penalty, but I do know that the chances of executing someone that is innocent is too great to maintain. Well,
okay. Thanks. I guess maybe would you want to take some questions from some people, Stanley?
Yes, I would love to take some questions.
Okay.
Well, first, I would like to say that I'm sorry that I get so excited. I'm so nervous. I ain't done these things about 10 to 15 times. But I'm never comfortable doing it because I get so antsy when I'm talking about this situation. Well, yes, I would love to take some questions.
Well, you're not coming across nervous at all. I think you're just kind of, it's sort of spellbinding to hear your story. So let's see if there's any questions out there. Does anybody have a particular question for Stan?
I have a question.
Okay. Stanley, wait, this is Crystal Halprin, and her husband is on death row here in Texas. Go ahead, Crystal.
I have a question about the phone calls, because obviously we only get 1 5-minute every 90 days. I'm just curious what their privilege is.
Oh, Crystal wants to know what your phone call policy is, because we can never have anybody from Texas call in. They only get 1 5-minute phone call every 6 months.
90
days.
Well, when I was on death row, I had access to the telephone from 8 o'clock in the morning to 10 o'clock at night. And this is for the regular telephone, and for the legal phone, I had access to it from 8 o'clock in the morning to 5 o'clock at night. But I am in a medium security prison now, and I'm no longer on death row, so I'm able to have access to the telephone more freely now, where I have to stand in line for it.
Okay.
And it is not cheap at all. It's almost like 7 to 8 times the cost of a regular collect call.
That's true. Well, don't worry. We're sending Michelle a check. Let's see. Is there anybody else got a moment? Can you come over and
Sure.
organizers of the spring break? Go ahead.
Hello, Stanley. I just wanted to ask you if you can describe what your day looks like on death row, from the time you wake up till you go to bed, and what do you do?
Actually, building bonds with other death row inmates. You see, I think it's kind of hard to explain, but hours a day. You may go to work or go to school for 8 hours a day, and you're out in the street some of the other time. But on death row, you're around certain guys 24 hours a day, year after year. You build bonds as strong as you have with your family. And death row, it was so horrible to me that I couldn't stand to be there. It's not like someone had a gun to my head every day that I woke up there. And I just wanted to fight to get off. Thank you for the question.
Stanley, a bunch of guys just walked in that have been exonerated off of death row. And you're probably familiar with Suja Graham's case. It's been, we talked about it for years in the New Abolitionist, and he just walked in. You want to say hi, Suja? Just give a shout.
Stanley, my name, I guess
You better come up here. Suja's going to come up front and give you
I'd like to be
a
a
holler. Right.
Okay.
Hello, Stanley, my brother.
That's what, bro.
I'm doing well, and I just walked in with 4 exonerees and our loved ones, and we're just happy to be here to support the students, and thank you for calling in, and keep up the spirit and keep up the good fight, because eventually, from people that have been liberated from Illinois death row have turned to the streets and doing good work. And we look forward for the day that you come out here and you do the same for us. So keep up the good fight. And remember,
Thank you, brother.
we all brothers.
I will.
All right.
I appreciate it.
Thanks, Suja. I have a question. You were talking about, there was a discussion that one of the previous speakers raised about life without parole as an alternative, and as you know, I'm just going to editorialize a little bit. The campaign doesn't support life without parole as an alternative. We look more to education and preventative stuff. And I wondered what you thought about that as somebody that's actually, in prison, and you're serving a life sentence now, and not life without parole, right? Life.
Right. I have 11, 12 more years left on this sentence, but it looks pretty good to where I might end up getting out sometime soon here. But I do not support life without parole, either because I believe that all humans have some redeemable qualities, and we shouldn't be cutting all the cookies evenly. Like I was watching the news today, and they was talking about sentencing a 12-year-old boy to a natural life sentence. Is that something that we should be doing here in the United States? Why is there other countries around the world refuse to have a death penalty and refuse to have a life sentence without parole? I don't understand how we consider ourselves the beacon and the bright light for human rights and civil rights around the world, but we fall behind in areas like this. I don't understand it, but yes, I am against life without parole also.